Today we're gonna be prepping this boot stripe for painting, and we're gonna be using Awlgrip. I think this is like a 48 footer. This lower boot stripe, as you could see, it's peeling, the paint is peeling everywhere. So we are sanding with 220 grits on paper. We're sanding by hand. And we're gonna be doing the boot stripe on both boats side by side. We are using the Festool sander, and we're sanding with 220 grits on paper. After sanding, we're washing down with soap and fresh water. We are using surface prep to clean the surface to remove any contamination before painting. Here we are mixing Awlgrip 545 finish primer, and the ratio is 1 part of the base, 1 part of the converter. Let that sit for 15 minutes before adding reducer. We are applying the primer using a high density foam roller. It is always important to use a respirator when applying primers or top coat.
So we just got a coat of primer on the bootstripe, and I just want to explain what I do. Come closer. So primer is mixed, one part of the base to one part of the converter. This is the part primer base, primer converter. So you got the gray primer, you also got the white primer. Awlgrip has only two primers, white or gray. If you're using the light colors, the white or any light colors, you use the white primer. If you're using a dark color, you use the gray primer. Now in this case, I didn't want a dark gray as my primer. I wanted a light gray. So what I did, I mixed the white and the gray 60-40. 60-40, so it's a 1-to-1. And then I add my converter. With this is why we have a lighter gray primer rather than a dark gray primer. Awlgrip's not gonna tell you that, but it works. Tricks in the trade. Kenny's Yacht Maintenance.
The very next day, here we are sanding the primer using 320 grit sandpaper. The smaller bootstripe, we're doing it by hand, and the bigger bootstripe, we're using the Festool sander with 320 grit sandpaper. Also, safety first, always use a dust mask when sanding primers or top coat. We're using the Festool sander, and that vacuums out 80-90% of all the dust. Here we are washing down again with soap and water. You got to ensure you got a clean surface, folks. So after washing down, we always use surface prep to clean that surface. Here we're using a tack rag to clean the surface for any dust that may be on the surface. Here I am mixing the Awlgrip top coat, and I'm mixing two separate colors. The blue hull, we are using Awlgrip Sunfast Red, as the bootstripe color, and for the other red hull we're using Awlgrip Cabernet Burgundy. So I'm mixing two separate batches of paint. The mixing ratio for Awlgrip top coat is 2 parts of the base to 1 part of the brush converter. And then you add 20 to 25% of the brush reducer. Bear in mind, there's a spray converter and spray reducers, but we are using the brush converter and brush reducer. Awlgrip rolling and tipping is usually a 2 or a 3-man project. One person is applying the paint using a roller. In this case, Julio is rolling on the paint and I am doing the tipping. That's doing the finish. And the third, if we had the third person, the third person would be a spotter, just to look out for any runs, holidays, sags. In this case, it's myself and Julio. Look closely. Rolling and tipping has to be well coordinated. The roller has to be not more than 12 to 24 inches ahead of me at all times. I gotta be able to tip that paint and get it wet and get it smoothly. The following day, here we are again, sanding it with 400 grade sandpaper. Using the fest tool on this boat and manually by hand on the other boat. The process has to be repeated every time to ensure that there's no failure. With the cleaning and wiping down is just part of the process.
Don't go too far. It is important when peeling off the tape, since we have two layers of tape, one the fine line, 1-inch fine line, and the 2-inch over the fine line. It's important to pull the 2-inch tape first, and after pull 1-inch fine line tape. That way you prevent breaking into the freshly painted paint. Now we are pulling the fine line tape, and check out how clean that line is. And I use the lock edge tape from the Home Depot, and it works fine as a fine line tape. See how clean that edge is. Nice clean cut line. Check how clean that line is. Clean tape line.
Kenny's Yacht Maintenance. We continue to work smarter and not harder. Please like, share, and subscribe.
From Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I am the proud product of Kenny's Yacht Maintenance, where we are in the business of working smarter, not harder. Please like, share, and subscribe.